Alright, so today we're going to be talking about nutritional guidelines for the stages of life, but we're just going to be talking about birth and toddlerhood. Okay, so starter question. When thinking about infants and toddlers, what foods come to mind?
Yes. The baby food in the jars.
Yes, of course. Alright, what's one source of food that you think would be good if you could just think of one?
Vegetables.
Vegetables. Mashed up vegetables, or just going to throw them a carrot?
Mashed up or at least soft.
Yes, exactly. What's an example of a bad food?
Anything with sugar, or like sugary sodas.
Yeah, dessert, because we don't need to give them too much sweets. All right, so here's our standards. Standard 6, I got it from TN.gov website on career clusters for FACS-Ed, and it's standard number 6, research and prepare informational artifacts for consumers that present the specific nutritional guidelines for each stage of the lifespan using scientifically accurate terms and symbols. Lifespan phases should include birth to 1 year and toddlerhood. We're just going to focus on those two. And if this was a learning segment, I would kind of switch up all the little lessons, and by the end of the learning segment, you would know everything. Okay, so our central focus is the students will know the nutritional guidelines of all the stages of life. They will understand what foods and nutritional requirements people need from birth to late adulthood, and use this knowledge in their future endeavors. So lesson objectives. Would somebody like to read the first one?
The learners will apply infant and toddler nutritional guidelines to real-world situations.
Thank you. Anybody want to read the second one?
The learners will correctly identify the right and wrong nutritional foods for infants and toddlers.
Awesome. And who would like to read my last one? I guess it'll be you.
I'll do it. Nobody raise your hand. The learners will use the learning website Socrative to identify the correct answers about infant and toddler nutritional guidelines.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Okay. So we're going to start out with vitamins and minerals. Two of the most important vitamins for infants are vitamin D and iron. We're going to start with vitamin D. So vitamin D is extremely important in the development of an infant to toddler. It helps build strong bones. It prevents rickets. Does anyone know what rickets is?
That's where your bones don't form properly.
Yes.
So they'll be a little softer.
Yeah, they get soft, and a lot of times you might see babies, they get a little bow-legged, and that's a lot of times means they have rickets. Children under 12 months need 400 IU per day. Okay, so IU is international units, and I have that note right here. Okay, so to better understand what that amount is, usually 1 cup of orange juice is around 142 UI. And a half a cup of cereal is 150 UI. So just depending on what you eat, certain foods have more nutritional values. So sometimes the babies don't get enough, especially when they're little, so we have to do supplements. And so some vitamin D sources, supplements you can get from, like, I was looking online, you can get it from Gerber and stuff like that. And I don't know how much it was exactly, but only 30% of babies get the required amount, so supplements are a really good source to help them out. Yes, ma'am.
So are IUs, is that universal across the whole world? So somebody over in Europe, would they use the same?
I would assume so, since it's international units, but other, like iron, where you'll see in a minute, iron is milligrams, vitamin D is IU. I think it really just depends.
Okay.
But breast milk doesn't always provide enough vitamin D, therefore vitamin drops are commonly used to help the babies get the required nutrients. Formula milk varies with the amount of vitamin D, depends on what kind of brand you get and what all is in it. And then solid foods such as fish and eggs are great sources of vitamin D. So when they get a little older and they can eat stuff like that, that's really good. Okay, so vitamin minerals continue. Iron is a mineral that all children need to develop. It helps with red blood cells and oxygen through the body to enhance their ability to learn. It also helps prevent iron deficiency and iron deficiency anemia. And that's when you just get really weak and like, you're always tired, you're always sleepy, and anemia is worse than iron deficiency. Iron sources include breast milk, which contains iron, but after 4 months, an additional source of iron may be needed because around 4 to 6 months, sometimes mothers tend to stop breastfeeding as much, so they're not intaking as much iron. So that's when you might get some supplements. You can get over-the-counter iron drops, and milk formulas usually contain enough iron to support a child because they already include it into the formula. And then meat, cereal, and beans are high in iron. So we're going to start with breastfed infants. Breastfeeding is strongly recommended for the first 4 to 6 months of life. Some breastfed characteristics include babies have fewer infections, they have reduced allergies, and they have less intolerances for food. So they're more, I think it's because they're more exposed to everything that their mother is eating, so they get kind of all those different foods and stuff like that. And sometimes breastfed supplements are good depending on what the mother eats. Maybe she's not getting all the nutrients she needs. So she may need iron and vitamin D supplements during the first 6 months, and then may need fluoride after 6 months, and then may need vitamin B12 for babies whose mothers are vegetarian or vegan.